Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I want to welcome you to the new and improved Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast. After many years of interviewing the best and brightest thought leaders around the world on my SiriusXM show, I am excited to now have those interviews available to people around the globe on this podcast. So many people would write us and say, I love what I've been hearing about your interviews with these great people. Where can I access them? I live in this country or that country, or I don't have access to that technology. How can I get the information? Well, I'm so excited now that we are able to offer the information and the interviews free on this podcast. So we want you to sit back and enjoy this message and let me know how you like them. And then do me a favor. If you like them, send a review, write a review and post it. And if you like it, hit like on here and share it and tell everybody you know about it, and then subscribe to this podcast so you'll get the alerts when we post a new interview episode. Thank you for listening and enjoy the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast.
Named one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world.
Inducted into the Speaker Hall of Fame.
Award-winning singer.
Best-selling author.
And now, here's Willie Jolley.
Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. And yes, I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, can't refuse it. I didn't seek it. I didn't choose it. But it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it. Give account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but our eternity is wrapped up in it. I'm grateful for this minute, this moment, this opportunity to be with you. Hey, do you want to grow? You know, often, folks, I tell you that the best way to grow your future is grow yourself. Best way to grow your organization is grow your people. Well, do you want to grow exponentially? Do you want to grow your business, your family, your finances? Do you want to grow? If you want to grow, I've got an expert today who has written a book called Grace to Grow. He is the one and only Pastor John Kenneth Jenkins Sr., and he's going to share principles on how to help you grow the faith, the family, the focus, the finances, and your future. So stay tuned. We got more for that coming in a moment. I start every show with that God's Minute. Then I take a moment every show to give God some glory, to give him some praise, to thank him for life and strength and health. I know everybody doesn't believe like I believe. I know everybody doesn't think like I think, but I do know that God has been good to me. And if he's been good to you, I believe it's good to take a moment and say thank you, to be grateful, because there's something powerful about gratitude. It impacts your life in a powerful way. So I take a moment to give God glory at the beginning of every show. And I remind you that God's gift to you is life. Your gift to God is what you do with it. So do something extraordinary with your life. And then I want to thank our sponsor, Truist Bank. Truist, a bank, came together as a result of a merger of 2 equals. One equal was BB&T, another equal was SunTrust. They came together, they created a new bank called Truist, and they built it on one principle: care. They want to care for communities, for people, for wealth, for generational wealth, for helping people to get financial security and financial literacy. So I am honored to have them as my sponsor. And I say it every week: when you start with care, you build a different kind of bank. Truist Bank. So welcome to all of those who are part of the Truist family. And if you have not had an experience with Truist, go check them out. My special guest today, let me say in full disclosure, he's one of my dear friends. He's a dear friend. He's also, in full disclosure, my pastor. He's my pastor and someone I have incredible respect for. He has been preaching since 15 years old. And from that early age, he has been transforming people's lives. I've actually heard him preach about 35 years ago or so. I had been newly married. I was working at a small church, helping my friend, a pastor there. And this young preacher, this young whippersnapper preacher came, and boy, he lit the church up. And I said, who is that dude? So I remembered his name, and a few years later, we reconnected, and I joined his church, and I've been with there for 20 plus years. And I tell people, next to my choosing my wife and my faith in God he was the third best decision I made because it's been a tremendous impact. Oh, it's had a tremendous impact on my life. He is a man who has done tremendous things in his life. His name is Pastor John Kenneth Jenkins. His journey began as a pastor in 1987 as a pastor of a very small church, and he can tell you more about it in King George, Virginia. And then he went on some years later in 1988 to become the pastor of his home church, First Baptist Church of Glenarden. When he joined the church, it had a few hundred members. As the pastor, it had a few hundred members in an old building, and he went to work and he grew it. That's why this is a program about how to grow. Today, the church has over 11,000 members who come on Sundays, and even more who join across the world by video. He has built a tremendous ministry, but also he is a businessman. He is on the board of banks, on healthcare organizations, on seminaries, on social groups. He is the chairman of the National Association of Evangelicals. He also is the president of the one of the largest denominations or groups of ministers in the world, and it's the Converge Ministry, over 1,700 churches worldwide. And he's the first African American to do that. He is a man who understands growth, he understands developing people, and he understands helping people to live their best lives. John Kenneth Jenkins, welcome, and I am so glad you're here.
Willie Jolley, thank you for having me on your satellite radio, Sirius radio program. I'm honored and grateful for the privilege and opportunity. Thank you for having me. I do need to make a couple of corrections to some of the things you said. You know, Converge is a denomination of churches, 1,600 churches across the country. So when it comes to denomination, it's a small denomination. It's not considered large, but it's just a little over 16. We have 1,640 number of churches that are part of our movement of churches. And I'm the first African-American in 170 years to be the president. And I'm honored to be in that role. And I'm honored to be on the Willie Jolley.
Well, I gave the thumbnail sketch of who you are. Where did you come from? How did you get to be a pastor? How did you get to, there are a lot of questions I have. Where did you come from?
Well, you know, I'm a DMV, District, Maryland, Virginia person. I was born in Washington, D.C., and my parents and our family lived in Southeast D.C.
Southeast.
Southeast Washington, D.C. until I was around 8 or 9 years of age. And then our family moved out to a little small town due east of D.C. called Glenarden, Maryland. It's a little small 5,000 residents community. And that's where I grew up. Grew up in Glenarden, Maryland. Married, my bride, been married for 43 years, just celebrated our 43rd wedding anniversary. We have 6 kids, 7 grandkids. And
so 6 kids, that don't fly by that. He got 6 children, 7 grandchildren. Woo, okay.
Yes, they keep our lives moving, you know. And I tell people, you know, I love kids, I do, and all of our kids are doing great. They've succeeded in the assignments that they have in life. They've graduated college, and they're all working dutifully, gainfully employed. And I'm proud of all of them and all of the work that they're doing. And we have 7 grandkids. And the great joy about grandkids is they come over, you have fun with them, and then you send them home. So that's the joy of being a grandparent.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, a couple of things in here that I think are important for people to understand. You, mentioned that your children have all graduated from college. You sent them all through college. But you never graduated from college. Am I right?
I have a 2-year degree. So
okay, you have an undergrad, a 2-year college degree.
Yes.
Associate degree. Now, but you recently got your master's.
Yes.
And you went back to school in your late 50s, early 60s, and got your master's. 60s. Yes. And you got your master's degree.
Yes.
And so we want to applaud that. Plus, you have at least two honorary doctorate degrees.
That's correct. Yes, sir. You got it all down.
All right.
It's been a blessing.
All right. So now here's a couple of things I want to ask you. You've grown a congregation from a few hundred people to over 11,000 people. And you know what, y'all always say 11,000. I think it's more than that, but you're a very conservative guy. But you've grown it way past 10,000 people. What did you do? How did you do that? How did you do that?
Well, I can't take full credit for it. It's a work of the Lord. I'm matching up with a church. Matter of fact, this First Baptist Church of Glenarden is my home church. It's the only church I've ever belonged to in my life. This is the church I grew up in. I went to it as a small kid. My mother took me to church when we moved to Glenarden. And so I grew up.
You got to tell that story about when your mama first pulled you up to the parking lot and what you said to her.
Yeah.
In the book. It's hilarious.
Yes. The building was really a dilapidated old wooden structure that shortly after we joined the church, it was condemned. And so
it was condemned.
It was condemned. And so we had to move out, and we tore it down. Our church tore it down and built a new building. So, but I told my mom, I don't remember saying this, Willie Jolley. Let me just say this. I'm going to say this is what she tells me. I don't remember saying it, but she said that I said, we're not going into that raggedy building, are we? That's what she said. But, I tell people, it's a dangerous thing to make an assessment on anything by the outward appearance. That's troublesome. My destiny was determined in that church. Yes. I met people and got developed as a young man in that church, and in that ministry, I learned some key principles of life: dedication, faithfulness, responsibility. I was given opportunities in that church to teach Sunday school as a young man, to be the president of a choir, to lead people. And, all of those factors played a role in my own personal development. And I think people should not, despise small beginnings, just do the best you can in whatever assignment that you have or whatever opportunities God gives to you. Take advantage of it and do the best. Learn the lessons God wants you to learn. And so at that church, my destiny was shaped, and I eventually got licensed as a minister.
At what age?
I was 15 years of age.
And you had to lobby the pastor to let him. You went to him once, and he said, come back to me later, and then you went back. You were consistent. You were persistent.
Yeah. And I believe, the call of God the mantle of God on me, the call of God upon me gave me a burden. And I believe ministry gives you a burden that you feel like you need to do, you need to do it. And I went to him and said, hey, I feel I've been called. He said I was a little young, but to keep praying about it. And I went back to him because I felt the burden to reach my peers and to reach my friends and to share the gospel with other people. I felt that I could do that in a way that would relate to my generation. And I went back to him and he said, okay, well, we'll figure out something, give you a date to preach an initial message. Oh, no. That's what he put me in contact with his son, his biological son, who was a minister, who mentored me. Okay. So he mentored me for a season. And then at some point I went back to the pastor and said, I feel ready and called to this is the thing that I feel God wants me to do. And so he said, okay, maybe next year we'll set a date. And I told him I can't wait.
Wow.
I want to do, this is what I feel God's called me to do, and I want to do it. And so I got licensed in December of 1973. At the time I was 15 years of age, and been going ever since. So
that's what I wanted you to talk about, a little bit about don't despise small beginnings, and understand sometimes if you judge from the outside, you'll miss your destiny. Folks, we got more with John Jenkins. He is one of the most wisdom-filled people you'll ever listen to. You're going to enjoy this interview. Stay tuned. Take out a pad and a pen, or your iPhone, your iPad, whatever you got, because we're going to give you some information that will not just change your life, but could change your destiny. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. And for sure, your best is yet to come. We'll be right back.
Friendship is not about being convenient.
It's about being committed and consistent.
Call me.
You can call on me when you need me.
Call me.
You can call on me. Call me. You can call on me. Pick up the phone. You can call and call me.
Are you ready to revolutionize your relationship with money? I'm Brian Ford, a financial wellness expert.
And I'm Bright Dixon, an expert in positive psychology. Together, we host Money and Mindset with Bright and Brian, a podcast from Truist Bank that's all about exploring the relationship between your money, your mindset, and your well-being.
Find us wherever you listen to podcasts or truist.com/money and mindset podcast.
This is Dr. Willie Jolley, host of the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways Show. The smart first step to buying a home is knowing how much you can afford. A Truist mortgage professional can help you understand that in just a few minutes. Connecting with a lender first helps you to be more confident in your search. Truist offers loans that can help you become a homeowner with a low down payment. The best way to find out if you qualify for a low down payment loan is to talk with a Truist mortgage professional. Visit truist.com/mortgage. Truist.com/mortgage to see current rates, to get a sample mortgage payment using their calculator, and find resources to help you buy a home. Talk to a Truist mortgage professional about your loan options. Having that relationship in place can help you find the best financing options available to you. Truist Bank is an equal housing lender. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. Truist Bank.
The D to the T to the I to the T to the U to the D to the E. A to the D to the T to the I to the T to the U to the D to the E. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. It's about your attitude.
And we're back on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways Show and podcast around the country, around the world. Wherever you're listening to this, I always ask you to send me a note. info@williejolly.com, whether you're in America or some other country. Hey, I'm listening to you on such and such a station, or I'm here in Britain. We've had a lot of people around the world who say, hey, I'm listening to, so just send me a note so I'll know where you are. And when I come your way, I want to make sure to meet you. And then I want to encourage everybody to go to winwithwillie.com. Winwithwillie.com is our site where it has a suite of sites. It has our faith-based site, our business site, our youth motivation site, our music site, our inspirational speaking site. Go there and get some of the resources. And if you're in the Washington area or you're coming to the Washington area, check my music and motivation comeback show. We're doing them Saturday nights here in Washington. And if you are here when it's one of the Saturdays, you'll enjoy it. It's a Broadway style program play that you will enjoy. We're getting such great reviews. The Washington Post said it is transformational. So if you are in the Washington area, come see the comeback show. It's a powerful tool. Now, my special guest is my dear friend. He is not just my dear friend. He's my pastor. I want everybody to know I'm a guy who not just thinks highly of his pastor, but I have such great respect for him because of what I've seen him do. I look at his walk and I've been influenced by him. And I told him the other day, a lady came up to me and said, Dr. Jolley, I have been wanting to meet you. And I'm impressed with your humility. You're here at the church, you're working, you're active, you speak to people. I said, ma'am, that's not my normal disposition. I said, it's the result of John Jenkins and me being under his pastorship. That he has influenced me, that I know that it is God who do the work through me. And I have to be careful not to let me think that it's me doing the work. So I've been blessed and I'm grateful. This guy is a mover shaker, and he has a new book called Grace to grow. And it's an incredible book. It was written primarily for ministers, pastors, leaders, but it can be transferred to anybody who wants to grow something, grow their family, grow their faith, grow their future, grow their finances. There are parts in this book that will apply to you. And it is written for pastors and leaders. But would you think that these principles also apply to business people who may be just getting started growing a business, Pastor Jenkins?
Absolutely. It is tailored toward church, but the principles of how we built the church brings about some concepts and some practices that I think are applicable to people in their personal life as well into the life of a business. And I would strongly encourage your listeners who want to start a business, who want to grow a business and develop a business, to grab a hold of the book, and the principles in it will, give you some insights of what God rewards and what God blesses and what will attract people to be a part of what you're doing.
Absolutely. And I want to talk about a few of the things. There are a couple of things that he talks about finances. He talks about finances and how you have to become a good steward about your money and about how you take care of your money and how you grow your money. He also talks about things that many people in business don't talk about: integrity, character, making wise choices, getting good counsel from people who are in your stead. Talk about a few of the things you think that you would say you can glean from this book that would help business people.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Where do I start, Brother Willie? Humility. You talked about humility. God loves humility. The scripture says God opposes the plans of the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. That's the first chapter of the book, is learning how to be respectful and honorable to other people, learning to not think more highly of yourself than you ought to, walking in humility. We talk about having a vision and a mission of what you're doing. Everybody, if you don't have a vision and a mission, where are you going? What your employees don't know what the purpose of the organization is or what the purpose of the business is. We talk about integrity, keeping your word, learning the value and importance of doing what you said you're going to do. We talk about excellence, creating a spirit of excellence is a chapter in the book. In our church, my philosophy and belief is if we can't do it with excellence, we're not going to do it. We want to do everything with excellence. It doesn't mean we have to be perfect, but we want to dot the I's and cross the T's. And you want a business or a ministry or an organization that functions with the attitude of excellence. God, all of these are things that God honors. Right. God honors humility. God honors integrity. God honors excellence. All of these are key. This is just the first 3 or 4 chapters we're talking about.
That's first 3 or 4 chapters. And look, folks, as I was going through the book, I said, oh, that'll be good for my business. I mean, because I have been sitting under his pastorship, so it's impacted me, but I'm still learning. And there were points that came out that I was taking notes. I was writing notes, and some of them I've heard before, but it reintroduced relationships and the fact that you have a great quote about all greatness starts at relationships or something to that effect.
Yeah, every opportunity that I've had, and I've had many opportunities. I think at the start of the program, you mentioned some of the boards that I've sat on. You mentioned the organizations that I lead. All of that is birthed out of meaningful relationships that I have developed over the years. And some people don't recognize that when you meet people, that person, they may not appear to have much purpose right now, or you may not see a necessary relevance of them in your life, but they might play a role later on. You might come across their path later. You got to be careful how you treat people.
That's right.
And so I am a firm believer in developing and keeping your meaningful relationships alive. And
you tell a great story in the book that when you took over the church, it was a small church. and it burst out of the seams. So you bought an old hardware store and converted that into a church. And then over the next decade, that just exploded. And you were doing, when I came to the church, you're doing, I think it was 3 or 4 services. I can't remember. It might have been 4 services a day. It was a lot of services. And you were preaching them all, and people were coming in and they were lining up between it. And man, he said, so you started looking for a bigger opportunity. Where could you build a church? And finally, you found some land. I think it was 160 acres, I believe it was. And
we bought the land. It was 50 acres, but we expanded and added 60 plus later. We added 30 and then 60. So yeah, we have 160 acres. Yes.
So the guy you bought it from, this is the story that was so profound. You went to the guy and you said, I'm going to negotiate with him. And
yes.
Go ahead, tell that story.
So he was a business owner in Washington, D.C. He owned some land out in Maryland and not too far from us. We bought 50 acres of land. So we bought that 50 acres at a really good, great price. And so we needed more land. So the next 35 acres next to it is the guy you're talking about who owned this land. Mm-hmm. And I went to him to negotiate with him. And I figured if I told him the vision I had and told him my hopes and dreams, that he would, give us a great price. So he told us, hey, he wanted, I don't know what it's 1.2 or 1.3 or something $1 million for this land. And I had bought the 50 acres next door to it for like $900,000. And I was like, well, this is 35, this is less. So I should be able to get it less than 900,000. And so I went in and I figured I could give him the spiel and he would embrace it. And he said, no, it's going to be 1.3 or whatever it is. I can't excuse me at the moment. And so I kept talking to him. And when we got finished, after all of my negotiating skills and all of my talking to him and giving him the vision, we paid $1.3 million. I'm not the guy to go and negotiate with you when I'm trying to buy something. So he made out, but it turned out to be perfect.
There's more to the story, though. After he saw your integrity, your character, and who you were, he asked you to do something.
Yes, he owned a bank. And
he owned a bank.
He owned a bank. Yes, he did. He was the owner of a bank, and he asked me to sit on the board of directors for the bank.
Wow.
So, and he also made donations to a scholarship fund at our church.
Wow.
So, just the relationships that you encounter, you never know in the future what role they might play. I never dreamed I'd be on a bank board. And in most of the organizations like that I've sat in, I'm the only black thing in the room. But it turns out to be the will of God that connected me with people and relationships that's so meaningful. And I would say to your listeners, be careful how you treat people because they may play a role in your destiny and in your future.
They may play a role in your destiny and your future. I'll give one quick story, and I just augment that. Kurt Smoke used to be the mayor of Maryland, of Baltimore. And years ago, he called, his folks called and said, we need you to come over and speak for us. And I said, okay. And he said, we don't quite have your budget. I said, I'll come. I'll be happy to come. And I went over and spoke in Baltimore, and they were having some major issues. And years later, my son wanted to go to law school. And so he applied to different law school, but he really wanted to go to Howard Law School. And it just so happened Kurt Smoke was the dean of Howard Law School at that point. And because of relationships, I called him and I said, my son has applied to Howard Law School. I know you got 4,000 applications for about 100 spots. And I'm not asking you to hook him up. I don't want to do that. All I ask you to do is with all those applications, would you just put your thumb on his, see if he's qualified, if he's worthy. My son ended up graduating from Howard Law School. Relationships. It's about relationships. And so, folks, do good to people, help them, pour into them. As my friend Les Brown says, do for others before you need them to do for you. Pour into them, and you don't know where it's going to come. It might not benefit you, it might benefit your children, your grandchildren, or somebody in your family. We're going to take a quick break. for station identification. We're going to come right back with my special guest, John Kenneth Jenkins Sr., and you're going to continue to be blessed by his wisdom. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways Show. We'll be right back. Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I got an email from a gentleman in Australia who shared how he had been struggling in his business, and he bought some of my books and audios, and how it had a profound impact on his business, and he went from worst to first in his company. I shared with him how much I appreciated his note, but I told him those books, those audios, those videos were not just something that I just thought up one day and thought to write. They were born out of my experiences, out of the challenges of overcoming the problems and the difficulties and how I was able to do it. And I shared with him that others have sent similar messages and that these resources work. I want to encourage you and invite you to go to my store. Go to wjspeaks.com/shop. wjspeaks.com/shop. Get some of the books. It only takes a minute to change your life. Or a setback is a setup for a comeback. Or turn setbacks into greenbacks. Or chicken soup for the soul. Or an attitude of excellence. Or the book I wrote with my wife after 34 years of being married and not having an argument in over 30 years. We wrote a book called Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. And now it is saving marriages all over the globe. Go to the store, get some of the audios, the videos, the books, the resources to help you have greater personal and professional success. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Make this a great day on purpose. And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways Show and Podcast. My special guest is John Kenneth Jenkins Sr. He has grown not just a church and a ministry, but he's grown people. I'm one of them. But he's also taught people how to grow businesses. He's got a lot of entrepreneurs in his church who become multimillionaires because of their business acumen that they learned from him. So we're going to come back to him in a moment. Before we do, I want to take a moment to talk about home ownership. It's the foundation of wealth creation. And Truist Bank is making a commitment to help home ownership increase, particularly in communities where it might not have been as prevalent as before. The best way to find out if you qualify for a low down payment loan that Truist offers is to talk with a Truist mortgage professional. Visit truist.com/mortgage, truist.com/mortgage to see current rates. Get a sample mortgage payment using their calculator and find resources to help you buy a home. Talk to a Truist mortgage professional about your loan options. Having that relationship, we talked about relationship, having that relationship in place can help you find the best financing options available to you. Truist Bank is an equal housing lender. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. Truist Bank. My special guest today is my dear friend. He's my pastor, but we're dear friends. We're friends. We talk often and we talk openly. And he's one of the few people, I can say, one of the few people who can really, say, Willie, you got to straighten up, walk right. He can do it. He and my wife, they those two people, my friends of Myra, I think, those are the ones who can, but you need those kind of accountability partners in your life to be who you can be, to be the best you can be. And a wise person understands that you want safety. And safety is in a multitude of counselors. And so he gives me wise counsel. We talk about a number of items. One of the things I love that he talks about in relationships is how to deal with difficult conversations or how to deal with challenging situations that you've got to deal with. He has a formula that he uses that I think is very profound. And I want him to tell you about SBI and then lover. And Pastor Jenkins, tell people, because there are going to be times in your marriage, you're going to have difficult conversations, in your relationships, in your business, in your work. You're going to have some difficult conversations, uncomfortable conversations. Talk about SBI and then lover.
Okay. So, one of the chapters in the book deals with conflict resolution, how to resolve conflicts. And now you're asking me to give you the meat of these chapters. And
You
I don't
give a
mind.
little bit of it.
Yeah. So SBI is how you approach somebody when you need to have an honest dialogue with them. Let me say this real quick first. The biggest problem that people have is how do they confront or talk to somebody that needs to be confronted with a situation where you feel you haven't been treated fairly, or they've wronged you, or they did something to you. And SBI is an approach of how you go to somebody and communicate with them regarding a conflict or a behavior that they have created, something they've done to you that you feel is wrong. And SBI, and I tell people, you remember it, instead of saying FBI, is SBI. The S stands for the situation. Be clear with the situation of when something or the offense or the problem occurred. You don't say you always. You don't say you never. You give them the situation, the day, the time, or whatever of when it happened, so they can zoom in on when this problem occurred. The B in SBI stands for behavior. Put a star around that. That's a very important point, because a lot of people deal with motives and intentions, which you can't prove motives or intentions. You can't go by what you saw, what you heard. Here's what you said. Here's what you did. It's behavior. Focus on behavior and not on intention or motives. And the I in SBI stands for the impact of that behavior. Here's how that behavior made me feel. Here's what it made me think. Here's how I responded to it. So I think if you got to approach somebody and they've treated you wrong or done something that has offended you, has been problematic, you approach them with SBI. And by the way, that's a biblical principle too, that when somebody offends you, you go to them between you and them alone,
Right.
privately, and share with them what they've done. So that's an important part of it. Now, Lover talks about how you should respond when somebody comes to you with feedback or a challenge. So the L stands for listen. Learn how to listen. Now, that's a big problem that a lot of people have. They don't know how to listen.
Right.
Listen to what they say. Understand. The U in Lover, L-U-V-A-A, is Lover. The U stands for seek to understand. Put yourself in their shoes.
Right.
Try to comprehend what it is they're telling you that has occurred or happened. Try to understand. The V stands for validate. Again, here's an important piece, is to validate their feelings, validate the impact that your behavior may have had upon them. The first A in Lover stands for...
let me go there with that validate. And that doesn't mean you always say, I agree with it, but at least understand it. And I give it back to you. I understand now. I get it. I might agree, but I do.
Yeah. And let me add this to this, Willie, because this is important too.
Yeah.
See, validate, I don't necessarily have to agree.
Yes.
With it, but oh my goodness, let me say this is so important. A big person, a mature person, a seasoned person, a godly person, the kind of person that God can bless and reward, is a person who can accept wrong even when they didn't do wrong. Validate. In other words, I said, you know what? I'm going to validate that you feel that way. And you may feel and think, hey, I didn't do anything to you, or I didn't do that, but it's okay. The bigger person can say, I'll take responsibility. I didn't mean that. That wasn't my intentions when I said that or when I did that. That wasn't my I didn't intend that. That's not what I wanted. So validate the person's feelings. By the way, that's what Jesus did for us. He took the penalty for our sins. He took the pain. He acknowledged and took the punishment for what we did. He didn't do wrong, but he took it and accepted it. And a big person who can move forward in life has learned to validate how somebody's feeling about something that you may have done to them.
Great. Mm-hmm.
And then the first A stands for apologize. Again, ask them to forgive you. I didn't mean to hurt you. Please forgive me. And then the last A stands for make amends. So where possible, where you need to pay a person back, or where possible when you need to do whatever it takes. What can I do to make amends? How can I make this right with you?
Wow.
And that's a big person. To do
These are principles. That's why I want y'all to go get the book. Real quick class, where can they get the book, Pastor John K. Jenkins? Where can they get the book?
You can get it from Amazon. You can get it from any place, bookstores, online. You can go, by the way, they can go to my website and get it. Let me tell you that.
Yes, please.
JohnKJenkins.com, JohnKJenkins.com. And you can get it from there. But Amazon is probably the quickest way to get it because they can mail it out to you today.
And the name of the book again is?
Grace to Grow. Subtitle, Building a Healthy Church in Unhealthy Times.
Okay. Grace to Grow, Building a Healthy Church in Unhealthy Time. But it's not just for people who want to grow a church or ministry. It's for leaders. Because the principle, oh my goodness, as I'm going through this book, the principles can impact my business. They can impact my people in my business. And here's one of the things that I think many people need to know. It can impact your family. These principles, you talk about your family. You give examples of how you've grown these 6 kids and how you and your wife have been able to stay together over 40 years. Am I right? There are principles in here that will help you grow your family.
Your family, it'll help you grow personally. It'll help you with your marriage. It'll help you develop and grow your marriage. It'll help you in all aspects of your life. I know it's called Grace to Grow, Building a Healthy Church in Unhealthy Times, but several of the chapters deal with that. But several of these chapters, especially in the start of the book, really give you concepts, precepts, and principles to apply to your personal life and business.
I love it, folks. I'm encouraging, I'm recommending, I'm imploring you to go get multiple copies. I'm encouraging you to go to Amazon or to johnkjenkins.com, johnkjenkins.com. Get multiple copies. Get one for all your leaders. If you have a church in your business, get them for your people. You know, I had the honor years ago of being on a tour in Australia with Stephen Covey. And he talked about how his book initially didn't sell that well until leaders got hold of it. And he got it to leaders, and the leaders said, oh, this can change my people. So they would buy 100 copies at a time. Then it took off. And 50 million copies later, he did okay. So I want to encourage you to get this book for your leaders, for your people in your organization. Now, one of the things that just always blows my mind, you got 400 staff people. Over 400 staff people on staff at First Baptist Church of Glenarden. How do you handle all those people? How do you administrate it? How do you handle it?
You know, that's we could spend the rest of the time talking about managing people. That's it's a very significant question that you're asking. But I'm gonna just start talking. You had to stop me when it's enough.
I got 2 minutes in this segment. Go ahead.
So first of all, we define clear expectations, measurable expectations for staff. So we teach them and share with them and give them the clear responsibilities for that particular job that they have. And then we give them feedback. You know, it's important to give staff feedback. You know, to communicate to them when they've succeeded and when they haven't succeeded. We teach them. Here's one of the things we do that I want to add to that. We teach people character traits. And so every month I meet with the whole entire staff once a month, and I'm teaching them character traits, things that we reward and celebrate. And we give out awards to people who demonstrate those traits. So responsibility, initiative, independence, communications. We teach them, character traits that we think are important. I'm
always intrigued how you have these 400 people. And let me tell you what I'm intrigued about. And me and Zamira talk about this often. And for those who don't know, Zamira Jones is my prayer partner. He's a member of the church and very successful media guy. He's the reason I'm on radio. And the fact that I can text Pastor Jenkins almost anytime, and I'm going to immediately get a response unless he's on a plane somewhere. And it amazes both Zamira and I, his immediacy of response and with all the people he got going. But he has done a great job of putting people in leadership positions so he doesn't have to do everything. He delegates exceptionally well. And that's what I love about him. Elegant. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with more with I can call him Dr. Jenkins because he loves to be called pastor because he has a pastor's heart. Pastor John Kenneth Jenkins. We'll be right back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. And for sure, your best is yet to come. We'll be right back.
Afraid of flying, I always kept my dreams on the ground. Life had enough ups and downs, but Lord, since I met you, all that's changed in the blink of an eye. Now all my heart wants to do is fly. You put wings on my dreams and overcame my fear of heights. Now how high will I fly? If I dare to touch the sky.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and people often ask, how did I go from a broke, busted nightclub singer to become a best-selling author and to be voted one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world by the 175,000 members of Toastmasters International? The answer is that I decided to invest and change my thinking, invest in my mindset, and decided to change my inputs because inputs determine outputs. I heard about a seminar years ago when I was just getting started. I was making about $100 a speech. And I heard this seminar that was creating millionaires, and it cost $10,000, but the guy was getting results. I didn't have that kind of money, but I decided to borrow it because I learned that there's a price for success, the price of college, the price of going to school, the price of education. And there's a price for success, and then there's a cost for not paying the price, the cost of staying the same. And that cost is greater than the price. It's too expensive. And so I went and it changed my life. And I came back and quickly made $100,000. I heard a similar story from Dr. Dave Martin, how he went to a success rally, heard a speaker who inspired him. He and his friend said, wow, that's changed my life. The speaker had a package of materials to help build wealth. The package cost $1,500. And that was all the money Dr. Dave had to his name. Dr. Dave's friend asked, do you think this stuff is worth it? Dr. Dave thought for a moment. He said, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. But I do know that I'm worth it. I'm worth it. He invested that money in that package and used the materials to grow his thinking. He grew his mindset. He shared how that $1,500 investment has gone on to generate millions in revenues. He's a multimillionaire. And he has homes now in Arizona and Florida. I want to say to you, it's time to invest in you. I want to give you some materials that will help you, grow your mindset, grow your future, grow your finances. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire. wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get some materials that will inspire your success and help you find that there's a price for success, but there's a cost for not paying the price. And the cost is always greater than the price. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire and get the bag, the box, or any of the materials there and keep growing your wealth. And remember, as a man thinketh, so as he is, and your best is yet to come. And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show and podcast with my special guest, Pastor John Kenneth Jenkins Sr. You can get his book, Grace to Grow, at johnkjenkins.com. Go check his website out. And then if you're ever in the Washington, D.C. area, come visit First Baptist Church of Glenarden. Just ask anybody. There, everybody knows where it is, but it's in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. And you can also get an online church, don't you? Could you tell people about that in case they want to visit that?
So let me give you the website for our church. It's FBC Glenarden, GLENARDEN.org, FBCGlenarden.org. We have worship services at 8, 10, and 12 every Sunday. You can just log on and actually just hit that website. You don't have to get a password or anything. Just join us. We're also on YouTube inside FBCG. You can get us on YouTube. We're also on Facebook. So you can hit any of those and watch us every Sunday. And on our YouTube channel, you can watch prior messages as well. So you can go back and see messages that go back for years.
Amen. Okay, let's talk about money. You have done well. Okay, you've built your business, you built a ministry, but you've also built a financial nest egg for your family. Do you have a formula for your money? Do you have a way? I know part of it is you tithe, but I want you to tell your formula, including tithing, and why.
So, yeah. So it's a simple formula, by the way.
Yeah,
I do tithe. As a matter of fact, I'm well past 10% of my income to ministry, church. I'm well past that.
right.
But here's what it boils down to. I never plan to spend every dollar that I earn. I never plan to spend. So I have a buffer. I have a gap between what I am bringing in and what I plan to spend. And if churches did that, if businesses did that, they would do so much better. Our church last September, a year ago, paid off the mortgage that we had. And so we are a debt-free ministry. And that's because whatever we anticipated we were going to take in each year, we never planned to spend every dollar. We would just sock away what we didn't spend. And there came a time when we had enough money in the bank to pay off our mortgage. And that's what we did. And so that's the rule that we use. And that's what I would tell businesses. That's what I would tell you to do personally, both personal life and in your business or your ministry organization or whatever organization you're in. Don't spend every dollar.
Yep. I have a formula and I've taught my
10% is generally the buffer that I
a 10% buffer.
10% buffer.
A minimum of 10%. I taught my children, and 10% tithe of every dollar, 10% save, 10% invest, 10% for a rainy day, and then learn to live on half of what is left, and then have the rest for the activities that you might want to do. When you tithe, what you're doing is you're pouring into and seeding your future. And I just tell people, if you don't understand the power of tithing, you're missing a great opportunity to grow your wealth. Okay, you're a pilot. You're a pilot.
Yes.
And you set a goal. To how important are goals in your life?
Yes. So I tell people that I had started flying because I was teaching the staff one year at a retreat about personal and professional goals. And I sent them back to their rooms and had them work on a plan of what you want to achieve, what you want to do. Everything that I've accomplished in my life has come from a plan and goals that I set and established. I know some people don't like goals, but I think goals are important, and that you have a plan to reach those goals. So that's I've had a plan to learn how to fly, and so I put that plan in action and went forward with it. It took me years to get to start it, but once I started it, I finished it, and I'm honored. I've been flying for 20 years.
And you're an instrument rated pilot, am I right?
Absolutely, yes, instrument rated.
And I have flown with them, and I didn't get scared of nothing. All right. In every interview, I ask a question of every guest. You and I, let's say one day we had lunch, and after lunch, we went to Prince George's Community College, Howard University, Georgetown, one of the schools in the area. We went into a business class of young wannabe business people, and they want to know, Pastor Jenkins, how in the world have you become so successful? I want you to give them a few. You got us. If you're going to be successful in business and life, here's some. You got us.
You got to have a mentor. Let me tell you that. You got to have somebody in your life who has gone where you want to go, who have accomplished what you want to accomplish. So you got to have a mentor.
One of the things I've always impressed about you, you're constantly growing yourself. You have made a commitment to lifelong learning, and you made a commitment to constantly develop yourself. Well, where did you get that? Where did that come from?
I'm a learner. I thrive to learn. I have high interest in things, and I want to learn all I can about it. And you know,
and I think that's part of your success. I found that those who are lifelong learners and are constantly curious about bettering themselves and bettering their best are those who tend to have greater success over the long term. Well, any closing thoughts for folks? One more time, name of the book, where they can get it, and then some closing thoughts.
Grace to Grow is the name of the book, Grace to Grow. And they can get it from Amazon.com. They can get it from my personal website, johnkjenkins.com. And my final thing is, first of all, let me thank you, Willie Jolley, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you for being a great member of the First Baptist Church of Glenarden. You have been so faithful and dedicated over these 20 years, you and your wife and your son. I'm honored to have you as members of our church. And I say to your listeners, keep listening to Willie Jolley. Keep going to XM, Sirius XM, because he's going to be bringing people to you and exposing you to information that's going to be helpful to your life. So I would encourage them to keep listening to you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that. And it's been a joy to be able to sit under your wisdom. I'm always amazed at your wisdom. He does a Bible study where people ask questions. Most Bible studies, most teachers Bible study, they don't let them ask questions. But at the end of the Bible study, he answers the question, and some of them are zingers. But his wisdom comes through, and his humility and his humanity. That's what I love about him. His humanity comes through, and he really feels for that person. And he'll tell them straight up, though, you got to straighten up. You know, Jesus did that. He told the people who were sinners, he said, go and sin no more. No, don't, I'm not going to castigate you. Go and sin no more. Well, folks, I want to thank John Kenneth Jenkins for being my guest. I want to thank all of you who have told people everywhere you go, oh man, you got to listen to Willie Jolley Show. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The podcast. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because now the show is #1 in the country. And I want to thank all the sponsors who are calling me saying, I want to be part of this show. We want to thank you. I do want to give a shout out to our new sponsor, Seamless AI. Seamless AI. If you're in sales and you want to get how to contact people, Seamless AI is a new platform that can help you to find people. If you go to seamlessai.wj, seamlessai.wj, or just go to Seamless AI, and when you finally talk to somebody, say, hey, I heard about you from Willie Jolley. Either way, we just want to let them know that we're sending them people who can help them, help those people grow their businesses by finding a way to contact people and get their great idea and their great business to them. I want to thank Truist again, Truist Bank. They want to help home ownership. It's a blessing. The ability to build equity, value in your home can be the foundation of creating wealth, wealth that can be passed on for generations. Truist believes that a path to home ownership exists for you. I hear people say, well, I don't know how I can have a home. Well, Truist says you can, and they want to help you do it with a low down payment. Connect with a Truist teammate to learn about the options available to you right now. Go to truist.com/mortgage, truist.com/mortgage. That's Truist. When you start with care, you build a different kind of bank. Truist. Well, my special guest was John K. Jenkins Sr. I love this man, but I love all he does. I want you to get the book. I want you to get multiple copies. Grace to Grow. It will bless you, bless your business, bless your family, bless your children, bless your church, bless your community. And then I want to encourage everybody to continue to grow yourself. Remember that I started at the beginning. The best way to grow your future is grow yourself. The best way to grow your organization, grow your people. Grow yourself, grow your people, invest in them, and you'll be glad because they'll pay great dividends. Join us on Monday nights for the Monday Night Show with me and D. Monday night is 9 o'clock on A Jolley Marriage on Facebook, A Jolley Marriage on Instagram, A Jolley Marriage on Twitter, and Willie Jolley LinkedIn Live. And then if you're in DC, come to the Comeback Show. It's called the Music and Motivation Comeback Show. Go to thecomebackshow.com, thecomebackshow.com. It'll bless you. The last thing I want to talk about today before we leave is this week on my syndicated daily show on Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell, I have been doing the 10 steps to success, the dream building formula from my book, It Only Takes a Minute to Change Your Life. And so many people have been sending in messages saying, please send me those 10 steps. This is a quote on the back of the book, It Only Takes a Minute to Change Your Life, from a gentleman named Paul Nellis from Canada. He said, I'm taking a few minutes to let you know that your book changed my life and my level of motivation and determination about all that I want to do and all I want to be. I am now an addict of the 10 steps to achieve achieve your dreams. The energy I'm getting from these steps is tremendous and fueling my daily activities. So many have said these 10 steps have changed their lives. They're in the book on page 51. I've been sharing them on my daily syndicated show as well as on my daily video messages. If you would like the 10 steps to success, I will send them to you. It'll be my pleasure to send them to you, the whole list of 10 steps. Just email me at wj@williejolly.com. wj@WILLIEJOLLEY.com. wj@williejolly.com. We'll send them to you. You'll get inspired and empowered. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways show and podcast around America, across the world, and for sure.
Are you tired of crying and complaining? Tired of feeling like life don't treat you fair? Do you see so many others moving on while you're steady going nowhere? Have you maybe come to the conclusion that there's nothing at all that you can do? Well, just look in any mirror and you'll see who is really truly stopping you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode, and I hope you got something of great value. And I hope that you were inspired, you were motivated, you were empowered, and you were encouraged to live your best life. I hope this information and this inspiration will help you to do more, be more, and to achieve more. That's the goal why I started this program, and I hope it helped you in a mighty way. Now, I ask you to make sure and that you take full advantage of all the resources that came through this program. I hope you go to wjspeaks.com/gift and get some of the free resources that we have there for you. I hope you go to wjspeaks.com/shop to get some of the books that we have created, that we've labored over to make sure that they will deliver a powerful message to you. I hope you go to williejolly.com/billionaire. williejolly.com/billionaire or wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get the box that it will inspire your whole family, or get the bag of books. Make this a great day, a great week, a great month, and remember, it is true that you are blessed and all things are possible for them that believe. So make the most of the belief that you have now in your future. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Have a great day.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.